Hi, just wanted to do a video, just me rambling on about a few things, but I don't like being on camera, so I'm showing you the fish tank, and before anybody says anything, it's a bit cloudy because we've just cleaned the tank, well, did a water change, and normally you get a bacterial bloom, but obviously a bit of the stuff on the bottom kind of gets caught up, and the filter, tomorrow this water will be clear, and I just wanted to show you our little pleco. Very odd looking thing, it's very cute though. Looks almost like an alien. Oh, his little mouth. Mr. Pleco. He's a bristlenose pleco. And we've got an exodus of snails. Wow. At night time, when you turn the lights off, they tend to climb everywhere. We have got absolutely hundreds of these snails, and they're very good for the tank. Amazing. I did turn the light on just before because I wanted to do a quick video, and I think at night time they actually come out. Absolutely amazing how nature acts. There's our meal better fish. He's absolutely stunning. It's called Basil. He's really cute. But yeah, I just wanted to have a quick, I'll say quick, I mean it'll probably go on for about 20 minutes this or something, but I just wanted to talk about the state of our villages now and what's happening. I believe many of our village shops are having to close and leave because, for a start, there's a high the cost of renting the property, you know, your commercial property. It costs a lot of money for the shops to obviously keep a place going, and I really believe it's all of a fair, and I'm guilty. My husband's really guilty of this, and it's all of a love affair with convenience and many things to why things are falling apart in our lives. We've almost grown a bit lazy, and obviously there's a financial side as well. I mean, you know, many supermarkets we go to are a lot cheaper than the independent shops, and then online you can get things a hell of a lot cheaper than you can locally. And I'm just asking the question to why. Why do you think this is? Is because we are walking with our feet. We're choosing to go to do a lot of our shopping online, and we're choosing to go to these big supermarket chains. And because we're doing this, because it's more convenient for us, then these little shops have to actually put the price up to try and make a living or scrape a living. Because don't forget, you know, how can a little butchers or a little fishmongers or a little bakers, how can they compete with these supermarket chains who are selling bread at 9p, or you get a punt of beef for about £1.50 or something. You get 15 eggs for £1. So where does this leave all these little independent shops? So just to make ends meet, these shops have to charge a bit extra money just to pay for their livelihood. And it's a vicious circle, and it's only the privileged and the well-off people who can afford to go to these independent shops. And it's the privileged and it's the rich people and what have you, who can only buy their beef and their meat from these independent shops because they've got a lot of money. So money's nothing, I'm not saying this is the case for everybody, and forgive me if this sounded a bit harsh. And it's the same with the health food industry, but for the average Joe, for the lowly paid, the people on benefits, the people who are on sickness benefit, the people who are on job seekers allowance and ESC, and for no fault of their own, a lot of people who are very poorly paid. A lot of the cashiers who work in these shops are very poorly paid. People in fast food chains are very poorly paid, I guess. I mean, I don't know, but I'm just, if this is not the case, then forgive me, But so these people have got no choice but to go to supermarkets and stuff like that, And it's a real tragedy, really. And these big supermarkets are corporations, and they make billions and billions of pounds. And the people who run these corporations are very, very greedy. And I'm sure my husband was telling me about something a few years ago. I think a supermarket came to town somewhere, and everybody wanted a bargain, left their independent shops, and all independent shops shut down. And as far as I'm concerned, these supermarkets are like a bunch of magpies. Not magpies, cuckoos. They'll come into your town or village, and everybody just leaves and forsakes their independent shops that's been there for years. Because people want a bargain, and people don't like to trundle around the shops anymore and doing the supermarket shopping. They want everything under one roof now, because obviously there's a very busy families trying to make ends meet. Often you'll get the husband and the wife working very busily to earn a living, and haven't really gotten much time. So obviously they're forced into it, really, doing things, more conveniently. But I really believe if we start changing our habits, I'm not saying do everything at once, just little by little. It just takes one family just to change one habit. And I'm talking about ourselves here. Even if you get your box of eggs from a butcher's instead of going to to get them cheaply at your supermarket, which, to be honest with you, we all know about battery farming, and it's evil. It is absolutely inhumane, and it's evil. But we're supporting this. It's us that's doing this to the chickens. It's not the companies. Okay? It's us, because we would rather spend £1 on a box of 15 eggs or 10 eggs than spend £2 on a free range box from your farm shop or your local butchers. It's supply and demand. If the demand wasn't there, then there wouldn't be any problem. It's the same with going into your supermarket and buying this meat. And this meat, it's so heavily farmed, and the treatment to these animals, the cattle, sometimes travel overnight to get to a destination without food and water, to be treated absolutely horrendously. In these supermarkets, these chains and what have you, and there's a very posh supermarket in where I live, and you should see the crime to the animals, the dairy farm, and they say this supports animal rights. Well, bollocks! I don't believe that for 1 second. If you look into the milk production and the way they treat the animals and the calf, and they stick the calf in tiny little cage, but I'm not going to get into details there, but we need to start just doing our little bit and supporting our little independent shops. And if you're strapped for cash and stuff like that, just even if it's a £2 a week, get your eggs from the independent shop. Save a bit more extra money and get your meat. Or even go to your local market and get your fruit from there, instead of going to your supermarkets. Just little by little, it all makes a change. And, if these supermarkets weren't in our towns and villages and what have you, then our local shops would thrive, and they wouldn't have to keep putting the prices up to compete. They would be able to reduce the prices then. No supermarkets means a healthy town. That means the food's a lot more healthier. It means your body's going to be a lot healthier. It means that the people who own these little stores and shops and what have you are going to be happier, and they're going to be in a lot better place. It's us, it's our laziness, and wanting a bargain, or the poor pay, that it's forcing these little shops to shut down. We've got our little fishmongers not far from here, in another town. It's called Newbiggin by the sea, and they've got a fishmongers there, and it's absolutely wonderful. And it opens around about 9:30 in the morning, and it shuts about 11. And they get fresh fish from the fishermen at Newbiggin by the sea, and you can't get any fresher than that. It might be a little bit more expensive, but just imagine you're supporting a little shop who has got their expenses to pay for, and you're helping the fishermen as well, who risk their life to go in the sea and catch the fish. Your local butchers, try and go to your local butchers and support your local greengrocers and stuff. Like I say, just one little thing at a time. Doesn't have to be everything. And also I'm not happy about the conditions that many of the people in these supermarkets are under. Many of these people are, these supermarkets are open from about 9 till 8 o'clock at night, and and I've taken our meter in there. As I talk about microwave radiation. I took our meter in one of them and I've had very high levels. Actually, it was 2 of them. As I go through the door, you're literally being nuked. Very high levels of radiation, and it was reading 1,000 to 300 millivolts per square meter. And this is when you go in the entrance. And then you've got your metal. It's basically metal structure. You will look up, you've got metal beams and metal. And this radiation bounces and it intensifies. So you've got a lot of people actually go to these supermarkets. So every single person will have a smartphone. And that's 6,000 millivolts by itself. So you've got, like, say, 100 people in that shop, each with a smartphone, right? It's high in radiation as it is. And you've got all these wireless devices, and So just think how unhealthy these places are, and especially if you work at these places, it's terribly unhealthy for you. And often you get these poor cashiers sat there being fright to hell. I measured 3,000 millivolts going through a checkout. And then you've got these cashiers with these Bluetooth headsets in. It's absolutely ridiculous. These aren't places. These aren't places of safety. They really are a health risk. So, if we change our habits and I'll say boycott these big corporations, then it's going to benefit our little towns and villages and stuff, you know, because we take the soul out of village when one of these supermarkets come to town. It rips the heart out of the village. So yeah, I think we need to change. And also, have you noticed that all your meat, everything is covered in plastic now? Every single thing's covered in plastic. You know, your fruits in plastic bags. You know, even the biscuits. Sometimes you've got biscuits which are wrapped in individual packets inside of a packet. So, I mean, if we carry on as we are, people are going to get really ill, and these fat cat corporations and these people who own these corporations are extremely greedy. Corporations are, pharmaceutical industry is extremely greedy. You know, World Health Organization, the same. It's all corrupt. Telecommunications industry is all corrupt, and they're taking advantage of our stupidity and our laziness. So it's so easy to blame the corporations. Yeah, I know it's so easy to blame other people. Yes, that's me as well. But at the end of the day, we are to blame for the state of the world. And these corporations know how to take advantage, you know. So we really need to start, you know, taking responsibility for our planet, for our loved ones, for wildlife. Radio frequency radiation destroys birds, it destroys bees, that is a fact. And I tell you another thing, you know, being born in the 70s, you know, we would wake up at crack of dawn, we would hear birdsong. I would often complain as a child, oh, they're keeping us awake, you know, birdsong, thick to your ears. Well, it was absolutely deafening, but it was beautiful. And we had many birds visit the garden, lots and lots of creatures in the garden, lots of birds, species, lots of butterflies, bees, what have you. And it's the bird song, it's a thing of the past for me here, and it's not normal. And I would like everybody to realise and remember, you know, people of our age, you know, 40 somethings, to remember and to listen and be horrified, because it's this microwave radiation. It's in your router, as you've seen in previous videos. Please look through the other videos that I've uploaded. You know, I've got my own little channel now, but I actually put duplicates on my husband's channel here. Look at me testing the radiation from mobile phone masts and guidepost. If you look at the video of me testing the Wi-Fi router radiation, you'll see those. If you look through and read the links underneath, it'll tell you all the health effects. It'll tell you about the decline in animals and birds. And when a tower was erected at Mount Nardi over a 15-year period, 80% of the birds disappeared. And it was recorded, and it's our technology is the reason why the birds are leaving. And you know, I've spoken to several people I know, and they don't care. They really don't care. You know, it's convenient. You know, having a wireless connection is more convenient than having cables around your house. But to be fair, the cables are more kind of healthier. You're not getting irradiated, therefore you're not poisoning yourself, and you're not poisoning the creatures outside. And it's like I say, we need to change our habits, because the problem is with the way we're going, supply and demand, the chains take over, little shops die, farmers have to sell the land because they can't compete with the the supermarkets, they can't make a living, so they've been there for like hundreds of years. They've had to sell, you know, to make way for ugly housing estates, more people, more overcrowded, more phone towers for a start go up. And I don't blame them. They've had to sell it because of our laziness and our love affair with convenience. You know, if we decided to not shop at these supermarkets anymore, then, you know, new farms would have to start, because they would have to have the animals in, obviously, which they do treat humanely, you know. They would have to, more farms, more business for locals, you know, more healthy food for us, and also get rid of the radiation in our house, which does actually go outside. You know, radiation doesn't respect your walls, it goes outside. It leaks into your garden. If you've got a Wi-Fi router, even at 250 gigahertz, that's enough to cause diabetes and being obese. It actually causes weight gain and the behavioural problems and what have you. This radiation, you know. Have a look at my other videos, you'll see the links. But yeah, it's linked to all kinds of problems. But this radiation doesn't respect your walls. It goes next door, hurts your neighbours, it hurts the wildlife in the garden. So we need to start changing our habits, and it's slowly do it, you know. And what we did last year, we got rid of our addiction to mobile phones, and now we've got one smartphone, which is, we use it as a video camera or a camera. We haven't got a SIM card in it. It's on airport mode, and it spends most of its time turned off. We've got 2 old school Nokias now, which is spent its life literally turned off in the kitchen. And it's getting rid of the addiction to smartphones has been an amazing blessing, but it's been an eye-opener for us as well, and seeing the amount of people addicted to the phones and constantly have the phones with them, and this stuff kicks out a lot of radiation, you know. It really is not healthy for all people. But yeah, I'm going to end this video now, I think, because I can talk for hours. But I just wanted to just say my point, say how I feel, say how I believe the world, if we don't change, and I believe we are at a fork at the road now, and it's up to the people of my generation, you know, or people slightly younger, in the late 30s, to remember how things were, and to see where we're going, and to do research into microwave radiation, to do research into how things and what things are happening, and you know, I mean, I'm going to do another video about the 5G, and I'm going to do another video about that as well, because I do like my research. I do read a lot of scientific papers and a lot of factual based things, and 5G is linked to AI, artificial intelligence. I looked at the official Europa site from the European Union, robotics over there, and they admit that 5G is the ears and eyes of AI. Al-Heleg, I can't remember how you spell it, and they're talking about they want to take over the rural areas. They want to go into the rural areas, and they want to have self-drive vehicles. They want drones to do the spraying. They want to have control over the rural areas. They want to saturate the rural areas in radiation. And it really is, when you read it, it really is the stuff of science fiction. And we're heading there very fast. And the reason why we're heading there very fast is because everything you see around you is a distraction. You know, politics, a distraction, all this stuff is a distraction from you doing research. You know. But anyway, you know, do your own research into stuff, and please watch the other videos about microwave radiation, and let's all take stock of what's happening. And it's extremely scary, you know, and plus all this processed food, you know, in these supermarkets is really, really bad, and it's produced in the most horrible way. It's almost the stuff of science fiction, you know. These people who make this additives and stuff sometimes have this big, huge hazmat suits on, you know. Plus you've got fluoride in tap water, and no fluoride is not good for your teeth. It's actually very toxic. And it puts, it calcifies your pineal gland, and it's linked to Alzheimer's and all sorts of stuff. So the stuff that you get out of your tap is extremely toxic. So we are looking into getting a water purifier or a zero water filter, because it's really, really bad for you. So we need to change in our household, and just little by little it all helps. And don't underestimate the power of yourselves. Each person is very powerful, and if they only realised how powerful they were, then the world wouldn't be in a sorry state. We need to start realising and believing in our humanity and who we are. Okay, so bye bye.